Yo, welcome to Trippy Commentaries. Thanks for joining us for the live stream. Hope you guys are all doing good. Early Sunday, what's 3:45 a.m. here on the East Coast, but I think it's perfect timing for some paranormal news. Appreciate you guys joining up this evening. I'm RJ. We have Trippy Raspo here. What's up, Raspo?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Yeah, definitely great to have Raspo. It's been a little bit. I know you've been very busy as of late.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's good to be back here and doing a little commentary with you.
Paranormal news, definitely want to get your opinion, as we have a couple crazy things to talk about.
Definitely.
We also have Music Video here. What's going on, Danny?
What's going on, Trippy? Thanks for having me on. What's going on, Raspo?
Hey, what's going on, Danny? How are you, man?
Good, man, good.
Now, we do want to cover a little bit of paranormal news here on this portion of the live stream, and we do have a second part of the stream coming up as well, so thank you guys for joining up. We actually have some really special things for you, for those of you who are chilling this hour of the night. Shout out to Trippy Medium Space, Shelby, Trish, and what is that? Rewad Acer, I believe it's pronounced. Thanks again for joining up, guys. Great to have you for the paranormal news. Let us know if you have any UFO sightings or anything. That's the cool thing, because this is our first paranormal news live stream. You guys can give us your sightings or anything you're thinking. I mean, we'll bring up ghosts, really creepy things, and you guys can let us know what you think. Danny, I know you said you've been watching some Ancient Aliens recently. I mean, what's your, before we get into some more intricate stuff, I mean, right now, do you think that there's a possibility that aliens could possibly be watching us do our day-to-day, things every day, whatever?
I think it's definitely a possibility. I think that there's some definite situations that go on that we can't explain. I mean, sometimes people might say they're different military, technologies that they have out, or it could be just effects at times. But I do believe that there is something, especially, in the past 5-10 years, we've been seeing so much more in entertainment, in a lot of different ways, TV, movies, music, talk about different things like that, alien abductions and stuff like that. I think that there's definitely some sort of extraterrestrials out there. I'm not sure exactly how far it goes, but I don't put anything past the ideas of what goes on. Like, it could be definitely that are watching us, or I really don't know how much I've actually thought about, in today's life, what's going on. I know in the past, like Ancient Aliens, you brought up how, you were talking about how, like, the stuff that's in, like, the pyramids, and, like, the different ways that they had the different cuttings on the pyramids, and there's different shapes, and the tools that they could have had back then were nowhere near advanced like they are today. And the thing is, today's tools can't even do some of that stuff. So there's definitely some connection in the past with aliens, but today, I really don't know, man. It's definitely an awesome topic to get into, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, man, and not just aliens, as I said, you also have ghosts, a lot of different things, but with, I did talk with Danny a few times off camera about Ancient Aliens. It's definitely a good topic that I want to get in, not only with him, but with you as well, Raspo. You have a ton of things on your mind when it comes to these things. Thoughts?
I mean, honestly, like, you could tie Ancient Aliens to ancient cultures that are purported to have existed, for instance, like Atlantis and other places around the world that are hidden, or, people don't know about them. They may be underground somewhere. So when you think about it, you can't see underground. We haven't explored that much of our ocean, not even like 5% of it, I think. So.
Right? We're spending all this money to explore space, and we have the oceans that are even unexplored, man.
Right, and the oceans are right here, but they do go pretty far deep down there, so sometimes you can't get to them. The pressure's too much.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that. I was just watching something about, a week ago, and it showed these big, like, I don't know if they were engravements or what they were, but they looked like when you take a stick in the sand, and it was at the bottom of, like, certain parts of the ocean they were able to pick up with, like, the satellites. I think it might have even been off of, like, Google Earth. And it was stuff that was unexplained, man. It was, like, big circles, triangles. There was, Trippy, if I could find the information, I'll link it up to you maybe in a future episode. We could show it off to people. but it was unbelievable. My mouth was dropped. My mind was blown. I didn't know what the heck to think, and it wasn't like faked. It was definitely real images off of like Google Earth. So definitely that you brought that up, man. It's definitely something to think about. I really thought that was awesome.
Absolutely, man. I gotta agree. I've seen a lot of those Google Earth images that you're talking about, and that's a good way of catching some pretty interesting sightings, because that's real photographs, man. That's satellite photographs. It's definitely going to catch some stuff if there is anything to be caught. So the one thing that we were also talking about as far as UFOs and aliens are concerned, I mean, perhaps it's not only that they are aliens, but maybe they are our predecessors. Maybe there's a chance that everything else might be from Earth, but what if we're not from Earth? If the UFOs and the aliens are watching over us because we've been transplanted here, there's multiple ways of kind of theorizing about that as well.
Yeah, you just said it yourself, and we kind of briefly talked about it right before we did this video, but the concept of panspermia, in which people think that it's a possibility that we kind of were fertilized here in an instance where maybe our I don't know if you call them ancestors or relatives.
I guess in that case they would be.
Some people say then you can even go into like talking about the Nephilim and planet Nibiru, where people say that they bred with humans and they actually kind of formed what we are now. They kind of left us here. But either way, that might have happened, or we could have even been sent here via an egg, and all of a sudden humanity is on Earth. It's definitely an alternate story from the classic God created man and like the religious texts, what they say about humanity. So it's interesting. Very interesting.
Definitely interesting. I mean, it's hard to really discount anything at this point. Anything is really possible. Life is very crazy, and you never know where we really came from. Could it be evolution? I think that's scientific theory. Then you have, the religious theories, and then there's theories that probably haven't even been thought of that could turn out to be true, because a lot of times the truth is much stranger than fiction. So anything you can really point out to us as being something interesting you caught on Ancient Aliens recently? I've definitely caught a few interesting episodes of that, Danny.
Yeah, that's a good show. I really like that one. And just thinking more about the water thing, a lot of these sightings and stuff, they have these sightings of these ships and whatnot going into the water or coming out of the water, and it just back to even what I mentioned with those lines on the bottom of the ocean. Like, it would be very possible. I know people brought up that we haven't, seen the very deepest depths of the ocean yet. We don't know what's down there. There's, so much more to this Earth that we don't know about, let alone this universe. So to think that there's nothing out there that we don't know about would be definitely not the smartest thing to say, because how do we know? There's so much stuff that we just don't know. We discover every day, and not only aliens, but you just put a picture on the screen of some freaky looking ghoul or whatever that was. I mean, I'm definitely into the paranormal, aspect of different things, and I think that there's definitely a connection that we have with spirits, and I'm sure that one day, hopefully, we can understand a lot more, and maybe it'll make a lot more sense. But right now, a lot of this stuff freaks people out. It's not believed, but I've been through my own personal paranormal experiences. They've freaked me out, and they're totally unexplainable. So I don't know, how far you go into believing this stuff when you get into the paranormal aspect, but I do believe there's definitely aliens. I don't know if, like, the theory he was talking about with the whole fertilizing thing, I'm not sure if we are the aliens, like you said, or if there is, beings out there. I do believe that there is definitely more than we know, and it's just crazy how we experience these things in our day-to-day lives, and it's just unexplained. So it's definitely a curious topic, and I definitely want to get more involved into it.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's funny because even if we weren't sent here to be fertilized on this planet and humanity kind of spread, in a way, we kind of ended up in this place in space and time after having traveled. I mean, we're really stardust, and we came from what people theorize as the Big Bang. But if you think about it like that, we've been moving through time for, hundreds of millions of years, billions of years, and it's taken billions of years to evolve to who, we are as people. And that goes for the three of us sitting here and everybody whoever's listening to us and all the other humans on this planet. It's pretty special to think about it like that, of how lucky we are to have a chance to be alive and aware of that.
Oh yeah.
Even as opposed to like an animal that it just acts on pure instinct and like survival. Like we do more than survive. We're like a human species that we care about other people and we care about other animals. It's interesting to think about that stuff, man.
Yeah, and I do want to give a special shout out to MUFON as well, guys. For those of you who want to check out some of the recent UFO sightings, definitely check out MUFON. They have all of the biggest sightings on here. There's other websites as well. Now, this is the first paranormal news that we're having here via live stream, so I'm checking it out. I'm actually on the Xbox One on the Internet Explorer, or whatever it is, here on this. So I'm not sure if it works. I actually tried it earlier, and looked like it took us back to Google. So we'll definitely, so I'll figure this out. I'll make sure to get it. Oh, looks like we're good now. Might have a UFO sighting to check out. Awesome to check this stuff out, discuss it with you guys. Definitely see what you guys think about this one. So you have an Oregon UFO. It distorts the air crossing the property at 4 feet. Pretty interesting stuff here, Raspo. We've checked on a bunch of stuff. Don't get too close to the mic.
I was just trying to.
Yeah, I feel you. Let me switch that up for you.
Thanks.
So
There we go.
we've checked up a bunch of UFO sightings, of course, on the Trippy Show. Done a bunch of paranormal news. This one's definitely unique. You have the Oregon UFO distorting the air, crossing the property.
What kind of distortion are we talking about over here? I mean, is the air blowing in a heavier winds, or
Well, it looks like it's the air between them was distorted for an instant. They live in a suburban area. A lot of forest around there. Interesting quote there after the witness hesitated to report the event. It says, "I've been reluctant to report this because of my own core beliefs. However, one of my friends encouraged me to do so anyway." So this guy has a little observatory action. A lot of subtle noises.
top secret information right here?
Interesting sighting we have here, Danny. Apparently, Lebanon and Lynn County, Oregon. Been noticing a lot of UFO sightings in Oregon. You think air distortion would be something a UFO would be doing?
I think it could, man. Definitely. I know in the game it does, doesn't it? Like it gets wavy and stuff on the screen.
Yeah, GTA
Nice,
5.
see?
Their UFOs definitely have some air distortion, to say the least here. Man, Oregon, this looks like a serious UFO territory.
I feel like the air distortion could affect the lives of plants and animals, which that definitely could affect the lives of humans as well, if the air distortion is causing them to have issues, possibly.
That would be terrible.
Depending on how this thing was flying, if it's hovering or whatever, maybe it's the amount of heat that's coming out of it, to hold it up there. Maybe it can be wavy if you look at it. A hot day.
That's true.
Maybe it could be something similar to that.
It's a great point.
So it said that the object was emitting a noise that the witness was not able to identify. Now, I've been noticing a lot of drones lately. They're getting more and more popular. Everybody's wanting to get a drone to fly it themselves. I'm really thinking that in a lot of cases, it could be just drone, man. It really could be a drone fucking with people.
It's so hard to tell. That's a tough thing nowadays, is that you look up and you're like, oh my god, that might be a UFO. It's like moving slow, or it's moving kind of fast and looks kind of close, and then you're like, it's just a drone. And especially at night, man, it's hard to tell the planes from the drones now.
It is,
and UFOs even harder.
People that aren't used to seeing them don't realize how good these people can drive them. I mean, they fly so smooth that people don't think they're a drone, because how could somebody actually be flying something that precisely? Have you seen any drones out and about at all, Danny?
Yeah, we got a couple over here. Definitely, we got some parks, and the people flying above the parks. And when you see them from a distance, you don't really realize that that's where they are. So you got to take like a double take and say, "What the heck was that?" And then with a little bit harder of a look, you could tell. But I could definitely see how some people might be confused about it.
Look at this one right here. This is over in our neck of the woods here,
Wow,
Brasco, Florida.
real
Witness,
close to us.
Palm Harbor. That looks like, without clicking on that story in particular, that definitely looks like a possible drone right there. You know,
Wait, when was that?
July 2nd, 2016. I saw a ton of
feel
drones
like-
out on the 4th of July.
I was gonna say, I remember seeing a lot of stuff right before that. So
Let's
it could
check
be a
this
drone,
out.
but that looked interesting. I mean, it looked more.
Yeah, I actually.
it looks like the same thing right
I was with a politician type on the 4th of July, where it was their town that they're basically going to be the mayor here coming up, and we had all these drones. I was watching the fireworks with him, and he was pissed off at all the drones. Man, he wants to take them out big time because they were flying through the fireworks. So those things are possibly going to become a nuisance for many people.
We've talked about that before, about how there's not the rules that they put in place. Even it's just kind of chaotic right now, and it's been an open game since they came out. Anybody could get it, and you don't really have to have a license, and there's not really any answers about the rules of drones, and they could cause accidents, and you got to be careful with them, man.
You're not supposed to fly them within 30 miles of an airport, and people don't even know about that law, apparently. Here's a comment by Hunter Goodhauser. He said, perhaps, aliens are probably far more advanced than us. Maybe our planet disrupts their technology.
Well, I don't know, man. Do you think that makes me think, like, or ask the question, like, would they want to contact us? Like, if they were far more advanced, like, do they just want to, like, watch us, or do they even give a damn about us? Or are they like, why do we, like, they're probably so occupied in doing their own thing that,
No
what
doubt
do
about
you
that.
think, Danny?
Well, say that they did contact us and the government had met up with them. You got to remember back in, I can't remember what decade it was. I don't know if the 60s or what it was, but remember War of the Worlds? Remember when the guy on the radio, and he said that the aliens are coming and all this stuff, and people committed suicide. People were really frantic. So after seeing how people responded to news like this, I don't know if the government would be so, maybe they'd be reluctant to tell us about this. Maybe they wouldn't want to tell us because they would be afraid that something similar would happen again once the public thinks that, aliens are here or have been here or are visiting or whatever. So there's definitely a lot of possibilities that, I think about when, aliens actually coming down to say hello, in a sense,
It could create worldwide pandemonium if, it was legit. But it's also one of those things where if it was legit, then you'd think that we would know it by now. People would have enough proof. You have a story like this where it's a UFO changing shape. That's really the only way people are going to legitimately know that they have a UFO. Something that's doing something that isn't possible, really, to people on Earth. It would be impossible for us to do a 90-degree angle. We would die. Aliens might be able to pull it off. It's just a thought.
Right.
Yeah, and like the videos that I've seen that show flying saucers doing things like that, it most of them, they look really like easily spottable as fake, and it's just, you can tell that it's not real. You want to believe, or I don't want to believe necessarily that they are, because if they're hostile, then I hope they're not. But that's definitely the deeper question here, in my opinion, is if they do exist. For instance, like you mentioned something, Dan, about, they met up with humans or the government. I think, and I've heard a lot of other people theorize that, not to get too much into like the reptilian deal, but like that, for instance, aliens could be in some human body. They're to the point where they've been able to maybe have the technology
infiltrate us.
Yeah, maybe have the technology to either infiltrate us or infiltrate our minds somehow, or control us, or even human like suits to wear.
Rick Scott.
Rick Scott, baby. But
you said that, not me. Jeez.
It's just you think about the things that these people do, and it seems like shady backroom deals. So if there was some sort of alien human connection, and they are hostile, they may be working together, and that's kind of because they do a lot of shady shit outside of. I mean,
it's been proven.
Think about like all their backroom deals with the banks and all this bullshit.
Danny's been doing some research recently where you were researching. Basically, the government is corrupt as hell, Danny. Man, it just reminds you of it time and time again.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're definitely corrupt, and that's why I think that they wouldn't be so apt to be telling us. I think that they keep us, keep a lot of secrets from people. I really do. I think even these UFOs that we might see, some people spot UFOs, and what if they're just different technology that the government knows about and has, or the military has, that we just haven't seen? We just happen to be close enough to pieces or whatever to see a test site, and we just don't know what the hell it is because it is so advanced looking, and they just don't tell us until they absolutely have to. So not only is there the threat, if you want to call it a threat, but the possibility that there could be other life forms approaching our planet, but we also have our own government, which is not really on our side if you want to look at it in that way. Really keep us informed, as I know I would like to be, and maybe many others. So you got to look at different angles. There's definitely a lot to think about here.
Now, once again, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We greatly appreciate it. There's a lot to cover when it comes to paranormal news. We have another live stream coming up right after this, a very special one, so we're going to be jumping into that. Hopefully you guys can join up, and definitely stay tuned for more paranormal news here at Trippy Commentaries. The last thing I want to finish off this portion of the live stream on the paranormal news here, Raspo, we have a crazy-ass story with a blind prophet. What's his name?
Well, it's okay. So this, I believe, it's a woman. She's a prophetess, Baba Vanga, Baba Vanga, Vanga. But she's like you're searching here. She's a Bulgarian-born prophetess. She died in '96, but recently I was just...
She predicted 9/11, apparently.
Yeah, I was just on Facebook, like, looking up some stuff, and I watched this thing talking about this woman, and it said how she was basically pretty accurate in her predictions of what has happened in recent history, and she had predicted things like 9/11 and the election of Barack Obama. She said that the 44th president would be African American, and that he would be the last U.S. president. So people are kind of a little bit apprehensive about her predictions. I would say just because she did say that in 2016 Muslims will invade Europe, which will cease to exist as we know it. The ensuing campaign of destruction will last years, driving out populations and leaving the entire continent almost empty. And she has some interesting predictions here. If maybe you can find a list of
I should have it right here, bringing it up here.
One of the interesting things, though, just to keep it connected to the alien conversation, she says that in the year 2130, with the help of aliens, civilizations will live underwater.
With the help of aliens?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the site that has a list here. If you go down to the bottom, it'll show you. But she basically says that...
Chronological list?
Yeah.
Which year is this?
so in 2130, but that would have to mean that we'd have to meet aliens in the next 115 years.
Well, we probably already met them if that's, I mean,
so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The evidence is kind of gathering that we've already made contact.
Europe will, I mean, that would be insane. That's still a long time, so I feel like there's plenty of time for that, Raspo. So the one you mentioned in 2016, that Europe will cease to exist as we know it. So this is going to happen this year. We're already halfway done.
I mean, is it kind of? It's happening already, kind of. I mean,
Europe.
I wouldn't say there's been a full invasion of there hasn't been a full a bunch of Muslims, for instance, invading Europe. But as far as we know so far this year, Brexit happened. Britain got out of the Union, and this whole Union seems to be falling apart. So, and people are getting displaced. Populations leaving certain areas. So,
shout out to Dead205 just joining up. We're doing a paranormal live stream here, and then we'll be jumping into another live stream right after this, doing a little something special for you guys on a Saturday, or I should say early Sunday.
Morning here.
So let's go along this. Man, what do you think about this blind prophet so far, Danny? This shit is nuts.
That's pretty crazy. I haven't ever gotten too much into people that have prophesied different things. I've heard about it, from time and time again, and it's always amazed me. But this is something I've never even heard about before. So this is just crazy. So I don't really have too many thoughts on this. This is nuts. I hope that this doesn't come true.
I hope not either. Let's check this out. So after that Muslim takeover there in Europe, 2023, we have the Earth's orbit will change. Apparently nobody really knows what this means. Okay.
Well, if planet Nibiru comes, it might kind of swing us out of orbit, right?
I guess. I mean, I would think that if that actually happened, we'd probably be fucked. It would not be very good for us. Our sleep cycle, all that would be drastically changed.
Right.
2025, the population of Europe will reach almost zero. What are these? She must hate
that's
Europe,
freaky, man. Yeah, she must have been a European. She was born in Bulgaria. That's a European country. I mean, I don't know why she'd want to be against her own continent, man. You should rep your continent. I'm for North America all the way.
If you want to, when you predict stuff, you can't really be biased.
Right.
You just got to predict what you predict. Mankind will fly to Venus in 2028.
I like
hope
that.
Of finding new sources of energy.
I love that prediction. I think
what about Mars? We're gonna just go straight to Venus?
Well, we're
Mars?
probably gonna go to Mars too, but I don't know.
Both of them. All right. World water levels will rise as the polar ice caps melt. Apparently, that's already happening. So she's technically right. I don't know. Maybe it'll just melt more. Europe's transformation into an Islamic Caliphate is complete. Rome is named the capital. The world's economy thrives. What?
See, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Well, I'm gonna look up here now. I wonder if this woman, was she religious or?
Danny, in 2084, watch out. That is when nature will be reborn. Hopefully, we can be alive for that, man.
Wow. Nature will be reborn, it said?
Nature is reborn in 2084.
Nobody knows what it means. What do
you
think
we'll
it
have
means?
Dinosaurs again?
Guess so.
That would be
or are they not real? Fact.
Like
reborn.
Humans get reincarnated as dinosaurs. How about Pokemon Go has tied in with the Matrix, and we become like Pokemon.
Oh, man.
You choose what Pokemon you want to be.
Check this one out. Communism will return to Europe and the rest of the world.
Wow.
What the hell, dude? Who predicts communism?
I don't want to live in a communist society.
No.
Bro. Come on.
No. Okay, man-made sun illuminates the dark side of the planet. Are you guys listening to that one there? That one is quite interesting.
Is that part of her prediction?
Didn't the Simpsons predict that too? Maybe she's just I think she's like, okay, the Simpsons Simpsons predicted Pokemon Go too, by the way. You just brought that up. So maybe she's just saying, hey, at this point, let's just ride with whatever the Simpsons predict.
She was before the Simpsons, dude. So Simpsons, if anything, got it from her.
Is she one of the writers for the Simpsons?
No, well, they might have been inspired by her. That's for sure. If they talked about this man-made sun, that's interesting, man. I didn't know that was on The Simpsons, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Man-made sun.
Mr. Burns, I believe. Or no, maybe I'm thinking of something else. I think Mr. Burns blocked out the sun. Something like that.
Interesting.
Two large
That's just way
volcanic
too
eruptions.
dangerous. They can't be messing around with something like that because they do something wrong. You're gonna burn everything down.
Yeah, but in this case,
I mean?
Danny, it's
You just can't make your
because
own sun.
it's because the orbit was changed, so it probably knocked out the sun for a lot of people. Apparently, there's now a dark side of the Earth or something, and I think they're just trying to help out the people on the Earth, at least the dark side of the Earth. Major global
You know, in
drought.
the Science Channel I've been watching lately, they've been talking about the different planets that they've been looking into, and a new telescope that just recently came out where they can look even further out into the universe. And you know, right now, currently, and it's been like this for a little bit now, they've been actively looking for planets for humans to be able to move to and to use for resources. So I wouldn't doubt that if something were to happen, because they do have a time frame for when our sun does burn out, because it will burn out in X amount of years.
Yeah.
When that happens, maybe by then we'll already have our shit together, and maybe human beings won't just all live on one planet. Maybe we'll be dispersed amongst different planets, and then when we go on vacation, instead of going around the world, we'll be going around the universe. I think let's go check out Venus this month, or I've been saving to go to Mars. You want to go to Mars?
Like you'll be surfing on solar waves. Like you'll be able to surf in space.
This is
hopefully,
crazy.
like for the civilizations that are still around, like if we're still around when the sun does burn out, hopefully by then technology and everything is advanced to the point where we are on a different planet, somewhere where we're a lot safer on Earth. You know what I mean? At that point.
Oh, I hope so. We're going to have to find the second Earth. So this prediction completely sends everything to shit. Right here, check this out. Two artificial suns will collide and leave Earth in the dark?
Great.
What happened to the real Earth?
Well,
sun?
I guarantee you that at least, I don't know if there will still be like an elite society or how that's going to work out. I mean, even though people say like it's getting more and more of a bigger disparity between upper and lower class, if you think about like how it used to be a long time ago with like serfs and kings and stuff, it's a lot more kind of closer together. There's actually a middle class now.
Yeah.
Even though it's dying. But aside from that, like I was looking at that. No, I just wonder, if people will have underground bunkers basically. Will it probably by then there will be enough knowledge and technology where they'll be able to build enough to hold like the whole population underground if something happens, and be able to like generate power to make food and stuff. It would suck living underground.
Such a form of life, man. It really gives us all energy.
Yeah, but like it says on this list here at the end, by 3797, after all that stuff happens, the war on Mars apparently.
Yeah, the war on Mars will change the trajectory of the planet.
And a comet hitting the moon 5 years later.
The Earth will be surrounded by a ring of rock. And finally, in 3797, which is interesting, that's a huge gap. She goes from 3010 to 3797.
That's a long time to be on a dark Earth, huh?
Hell yeah. And it says, by this time, everything on Earth will die. However, human civilization will be advanced enough to move to a new star system. That's insane right there.
I wonder which star system we're going to be going to, where she envisioned us going.
So, thanks again for joining up, guys. One last thought I want to give you. Like, what if, like, say tomorrow, a comet hits Mars, blows it up. Boom, Mars is gone. And now we know that all it takes is for one comet to hit us at any moment. It can happen at instantly, and the entire planet's destroyed. Everything that we worked for is decimated. That would be trippy to see another planet so close to us destroyed.
That would be trippy. Or, for instance, a comet hits Mars, and a piece of it breaks off and starts flying towards Earth. and everybody's like,
man.
"What the fuck?" Freaking out. Like we
We
all of a
need to
sudden,
build
yeah, we have
we need to
to.
build a Death Star. To, like, keep
Yeah,
this
dude,
together.
we need to do something, man. If that shit happens, bro. Come on.
Danny, what if we have a comet heading straight for us, man, and we have to launch up a team of oil drillers to land on it and stick a nuclear bomb inside to blow it up just in time, man? What if we had to do that? It would be complete Armageddon.
That would be amazing.
Or you guys ever see the core?
Oh
Hillary
God!
Swank.
Yeah,
They have to
that's terrible.
restart the core like by putting as if a nuclear bomb is gonna restart the Earth's core. Come on now.
The hell, this is messed up. All right, here we go. That movie was so messed up, dude. They're like, get to the core. They're like, here we are. We've made it to the core.
It was like a
Kinda nice,
wannabe
though.
Armageddon, kind of sort of.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We really appreciate it. For those of you joining up for the live stream, a special shout out to Henry Solis. Hunter, shout out to you again.
Yeah.
Mr. Little Brony Me. Wow.
Nice.
Dan Porter. Thanks again for joining up, Mr. Man. Make sure to stay tuned because we're about to jump in part 2 of the live stream. And make sure to stay tuned here to Trippy Commentaries as we will bring you plenty more paranormal news. Something that we kind of haven't done in a while. We do cover it all the time on our radio show Monday nights at 10. I'll put a link in the description. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter. Danny, where can they reach you on Twitter?
On Twitter, it's @music_vidiot.
Definitely hit Danny up. Thanks again for your take, Danny. Definitely have to get into another paranormal news with you soon because we still have a lot to cover as far as the paranormal. I mean, I want to get your takes on ghosts as well. That's something that I really feel is real. I really do.
That's gonna be one of the really good ones that I could be a part of because I have a couple personal situations I can explain.
Oh,
for sure.
Wow,
Nice, dude. Oh, man, I'm pumped up for that. Really appreciate you guys joining up. Raspo,
Yeah, man.
same with you, man. Still have a lot more to cover with yourself as well.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I look forward to because I didn't know if I was gonna be in this area or if I was gonna be moving. So it's kind of cool. I'm gonna be here for a while, and I look forward to doing some more commentaries and videos and paranormal news segments with you guys in the future. And follow me at Trippy Raspo on Twitter and everywhere else too. So.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description to Raspo's. Man, I got to get the old Xbox Microsoft Edge down, figure that out for you guys so we can make sure the stream is perfect. Thanks again for joining us, guys. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. And as always, stay trippy, my friends.